Light is green, things are going on.
Okay, last time we did have a bit of a break as we went off on a magical adventure. But who wants to recall what happened last time when you got to Blingdenstone?
I just remember we went through the last part of a temple. Was that it? Or did we leave the temple?
You left the temple, you went and dealt with the gnolls. And
Oh
then
yeah,
you
yeah.
made
We
it.
went through the caves and dealt with gnolls, yeah, and then almost also dealt with hook horrors until we found out there was just animal cruelty and left.
You all decided you didn't want to raid a Hokor's nest, which is, quite lovely of you. I do applaud you for that. And then you were brought into Blingdenstone. Topsy and Turvy have gone to visit their father. And you currently have free roam of the city, but they are unable at the current moment to assist you getting to the surface. But you have been given free lodging. You have just left the people in charge. What do you all plan on doing?
Well, let's see what counts as a tavern down in these places now that we have time to lift our legs up.
Wasn't it like something we all had to crawl, or half of us at least?
Aye, sucks
yes.
for the rest of you.
Yep. As a matter of fact, when you got in here, there was a lot of crawling. And a couple of the other parts as well. Any of you of the taller stature, have found some of the halls are a bit difficult to get through, just because they were clearly designed for, well, gnomes. Gaddix, you actually feel perfectly fine.
Yeah, this is home.
Everything is Gaddix sized.
I-
Lou, you never thought you were going to experience this, but you feel tall.
Wait.
I am a god
Did-
amongst gnomes.
Did Gaddix just admit he feels at home with the deep gnomes?
Hey, no, that's different.
He's admitted the city.
The city feels homely. Its occupants are
is-
another story entirely.
Its occupants are homely in a different way. Just look at them. No hair.
Fox gun.
Well, the females have hair.
Oh, that's even worse.
It's
But not the
Gaddixo,
men.
so he doesn't even notice them. He just looks at the potential academic rivals.
But Jim Jar does say he'd be happy to escort you all. For the moment, he'll be staying with you. Actually, the inn, for the most part, doesn't really have too many guests. It's been recently reopened. And for the most part, it actually does have a little bit of some food items that you would find on the surface, but generally it's more things that Swarfneblins would be consuming. He does give you the good news, though, which is the fact that the beds were designed for guests of your size. So you're not going to have to try to find a way to fit in a Swarfneblin bed. Looking at Harton and Nadrax and Uzana specifically.
Yes, for normal sized
That's
people.
wonderful.
The only times Swarfneblin are really there are after work. They go to the tap room to kind of socialize and keep, it's a nice place for them to get together.
Good. That'll mean you're not busy. Let's time to inject a little bit of cash flow into this business, shall we?
All right, so
Oh, you see, he's being a bit more honest now. He's not just saying it's market research.
Aye, because they ain't competitors.
So you are brought down through this little area here. Through generally what would be considered a residential area. Some of the houses are a bit more put together than others. Some still seem like they're abandoned. But in general, things are going. And you do get to the currently empty tavern beyond the little fellow that is behind the bar, who looks very excited when you all come in. Oh, we have guests.
Oh god, it's
Surface
Great
guests.
Baby Yoda.
There's Neblin. You can't really. Actually, for a while when I was trying to do that, I literally was getting Yoda.
Which is strange because he's a
It was
goblin.
very.
The Gremlin at least have their skin tone going for them.
If you type gnome, you get garden gnome.
You just need to try something like Shortest Drow.
You think I can get short drow?
Stubby Drow.
Oh, be careful with those words, because I tried one time to add a little bit of weight to people, and I got something horrifying, which I will not share right now. But, anyways, he does wave you up to the bar. I'm Tappy Foamstrap.
Hey, Tabby,
welcome.
you and I are about to be the best of friends.
Oh, we will certainly see. Well, welcome to the Foaming Mug. Should I show you to where the rooms are, or do you want to get something to drink first?
Well, as you can see, the bearded ones already have an idea in their head of what they fancy. But if you don't mind, give us an idea of what our rooms are. That'd be helpful.
Okay, well, 1 second. Let me just bring you on down then. And he quickly runs around the side of the bar. Down here. Down this hall. And we've got enough rooms for... And he starts doing accounting. Yep, we've got enough rooms for everybody. Some of you might have to share, though.
Some of them will have to share. That's perfectly all right.
All right, so who... Does anybody mind sharing a double bed?
That's already claimed. That's mine. Thank you very much.
Right, bathrooms down here.
Off the edge. I know it's a wall, but it could also be seen as a cliff edge.
Yeah, I know. Hey, trying to find a map for some of these places was Goram impossible.
Yep.
I would not want to sleep in this room if that was the case.
Yeah, it's against the wall.
It's a nice breeze across your forehead.
Does anybody else want a double bed? Because we got one more double bed.
I'll take it.
All right, it's down in this way.
Oh, look at that.
Teleporting walls.
Well, Lou, where's Feltrick gonna sleep then?
At the foot of the
I
bed.
said,
I haven't told him this yet. He hasn't learned.
I said with an obvious grin on my.
Felric just looks at you. At the foot, eh?
Gonna get shot.
He just gives you a little bit of a shoulder bump. Yep. And then we got two in here, and then we have the general rooms, and he taps the walls on either
Well,
side.
funnily enough, wouldn't that be the correct position for a male drow? Neither of you get to sleep on the bed, just at the foot of it.
It would almost certainly be me at the foot if that were the case.
It depends
Both
on
curl up on the floor.
Wouldn't they just trance against the wall?
Felric starts to respond, and then after all this, he just goes, "You're pulling my leg, aren't you?"
A little bit. But not as much as you might think.
And to answer your question, Uzana, it depends on if the male drow can still trance. Sleeping is actually more common for drow than surface elves.
Interesting.
Some of us can't trance at all. Some of us split it half and half, and then other ones do primarily trance.
And if you prefer rave,
Louis just
techno, a
going-
little bit garage.
Yeah. Lou just go, we can?
Lou made the choice of sleep a long time ago.
Yeah.
After a big meal, trancing isn't going to get you through.
Yeah, he had to learn to metabolize a halfling meal.
Oh, look at
Yeah.
that.
What's
now-
gonna cut it?
Lumber sheets. It's all quite nicely made. That'll be a nice wee change of pace.
Now, for all of you who want to have something to drink, because I did hear some of you wanted that, get yourselves all situated in your rooms. We've got some absolutely wonderful Dark Lake Stout that I'm sure you will love. Frankly, it's the
Well,
only thing that
see-
we've got.
Well, we'll see about that, I said as I point at my nose as a wink.
With like nearly every blood vessel on it has burst over the years from alcohol.
Well, it's one of the primary things we trade with the Duragar for, so they definitely know a thing or two about stout.
I squint.
I
We'll
know,
see.
I know. We've certainly had a lot of yours, and trust me, you will not find it disappointing. It's just that it's a lot
Alright.
harder to keep it stocked than the stuff that we used to get from Mithril Hall.
Alright.
So get yourselves at home, and then we'll be up and ready to have a drink whenever you're ready. And
Sitting
yeah,
up-
it's pretty clear nobody's staying here.
Yep, sitting on the edge first thing, boots off. Oh, that's been a while.
Fly just passes out, immediately drops dead as it passes.
No, he's got a Uzi.
Mm-hmm.
He's lemon scented whenever it needs to be.
Well, yeah, but before she can mix it, I mean. Zip.
Just a chance to stretch out.
Okay, if Jim Jar went into that room, I'm going into this room.
Are you sure?
Running
You want
over
to?
with royalty.
You want to bed down? Yeah, the bed down for Prince.
Oh, wait a minute.
People have been surprisingly accepting of him.
I don't.
Too
Yeah,
late.
this is awkward.
Good guy.
You literally
Wait,
made
over
your
here.
bed.
Eldith
What the
looks
fuck
in.
are you doing in here? Get the fuck
I don't
out.
know. I don't know.
Eldith frowns at you, Bjorn, and the fact that you've only got one bed in this room.
No,
She looks
the
over
doors
to
are
the
short.
two. And she pouts.
Yeah.
Aesthetics
What?
not good enough for you.
Just saying, I suppose I guess I'll have to bunk in the main room.
Hang on.
As he hands her a pillow, that'll help.
Natrax,
Yes?
out. Single room use.
Alright.
Oh. In which case, let's move Darendil over here. I'll move him over here. There we go. Horik is feeling ill and is taking a lie down. Too much potato.
He's got a lot of carbs to
They
burn
can't
through.
rot.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as too much.
Hey, next to
Just
Brooklyn,
sufficient.
Short
There we go.
room, short room.
There we go. We even got the NPCs in their own room, and then the players
Yeah.
have their own room. There we go. And Kago has the bed if he wants it. Nope.
Let's be fair. Horik wouldn't stay in the same room as a Rumblefoot. Someone who might die.
Woof.
Oh no, he somehow fell asleep with a pillow squashed over his head in the night.
He tragically, brutally, accidentally cut off his own head while shaving. Why are all these finger marks around the neck hole? Well, this is a nice wee change of pace.
Mm-hmm.
However, roofs, though, is it still a little bit short?
No, this is fully designed for surface dwellers.
Yeah, we just need a wee windy with a bit of sun coming through, but that will be a while longer.
You better start digging.
Dig up, stupid.
I wonder how the kids are doing.
I'll find out. He has been keeping in contact with him each day. I make sure to reserve a spell slot for that. So
Generally,
yeah.
you are hearing that they are good. There is a question on if they are behaving good.
Aye. I'm noticing an omission of certain details, really, when they answer back, but it's not because of a 25 word limit.
You hear they are having fun.
That's good.
Also,
if
the adult in the possession of a dragon staff.
no, there was something else that they took, and Beniago is going to be very mad about it. But don't
They
worry.
taught me to use 2 swords.
No. We leave for a few months. Damn, it was a long time.
It has been a while, actually.
Yeah, it's
Until
been
dawn, that's
10
pretty
days.
cool.
But yeah, generally you hear they are having fun. They are trying. You hear a lot of they are trying to be good. If you ever ask if the nanny agrees, they are very quiet and they do not respond about that.
I get this strange feeling that
But,
there's 2 sides to our kids. Everyone else in the orphanage and such knew him as the horrible wee terrors. We never had a single issue with him.
Maybe your presence alters how they behave?
Well, our presence. I mean, we are our parents. Plus, let's be honest here, this wee one keeps him well focused. We'll find out. I'm sure there's going to be a list afterwards.
You have no
A
idea.
list of bills to pay.
Which I just hand gracefully over to Jarlaxle. This was a service fee.
As a matter of fact, that is a point. Jarlaxle is paying for literally everything they do.
Mm-hmm.
Jarlaxle is keeping a running tab. And by Jarlaxle, I mean Beniago is keeping a running tab that goes on Jarlaxle's tab.
Yep. Not my problem. I was sent down the Underdark for a short little journey. This has gone far beyond the original obligated contractual period. So if anything, I should be getting a wee bit extra here as well. A wee bit more hazard pay.
Another
To be fair,
kid.
Jarlaxle wasn't actually paying you to come down here. He was bankrolling
That is a
your own
minor detail
adventure.
that we will not bring up during the discussion. That is not one of the required facts for this trial to be held.
But it is a perfectly functionable tavern. The person who is running it, he's very happy to see you all here. Oh, she. Sorry, my bad. It's a she.
It's a Yoda, it doesn't matter.
It's a Yoda. It don't matter.
It's a baby head with
She-
pointy ears.
Yeah.
I was confused of why it was a boy, and then no, it is a girl. Okay. Sorry, it is a bit confusing because sometimes they say the regarding the tavern keeper, and then finally I get the she, and the name Tappy did not scream female to me,
How about Peggy?
but that would be yes. But the moment any of you come out, she already has ale out in the cups. She is already getting a pot of stew on the fire. She's getting some bread baked. She's excited. You are the most exciting thing to happen in her tavern in probably the whole year.
Oh, let us
Well,
make
since
full
work
use
is
of the
sick, he can't
facilities.
help. If I can I just take notes and help out around the kitchen so Hork has something to read while he's trying to get better?
Yeah. Sheila will fully allow it. She does ask if you know what you're doing in the kitchen.
I was raised by halflings.
What does that mean?
I have seen many meals cooked, and I have eaten many meals.
But you haven't done the cooking. I mean,
I'm never in charge, but I help.
Are we? I mean, I don't know. I'm not really used to having men in the kitchen.
Well, what's probably going to happen is I'm going to eat something that's too hot, burn myself, and then go sit outside.
Why would you sit outside? We have chairs here.
It's about the, regret, reflection, and my tongue hurts.
Well, how about this? You can chop the vegetables.
Yes.
I am curious, why are you all allowed to be here without guards?
Well, Jim Jar's sort of our supervision right now, and we had a wonderful reference and our little tasks and deeds. Allow me to recount the tales here.
Oh, if you tell her the tales, she wants all of it.
Yeah.
And we're starting to talk even all the way further back, just going back and back and back. Anything you tell her, she will absolutely absorb.
Although he does only go for a 2-drink limit, the rest is all fruit juices and tea.
You also notice that you probably at some point are supposed to pay, but she's just offering things.
Well,
And if you ask about payment, it's just, oh, don't worry about that.
I'll
Leave
you a handful of coins for a gratuity, why not? It's been very nice service here. We haven't honestly had a good welcome for quite a while down here.
Oh, I bet. Where have you been? Oh, yeah. Were the Myconoids nice at least?
No, not at that point. They've been well corrupted. Then we get on to Zuckmoy's wedding. And how we met the bride. The groom was curiously absent.
We probably won't be invited for the actual wedding. Hopefully.
I think the inverse is true. I'm pretty sure we're going to see some little mushroom spray his spores at us and say, mandatory attendance, you get a +1.
She did say to come back for the wedding.
Yeah.
You have an invite for the wedding. You just don't have a date and time.
Well, I've got a date. It'll be formal dress as well. So, make sure to bury a tuxedo or something for a while. Give it that good level of rotten fermentation.
But as this is going on, all of a sudden the day starts to pick up. As these are actually the proper size for Nebulin. A bunch start to filter into the tavern to pick their tables, get some drinks. They're generally very surprised to see a bunch of surface dwellers chilling in the tavern.
It must have come off season.
Tappy is very happy to inform you that usually surface dwellers don't come almost at all.
No, you're just a wee transit spot.
Well, usually people go to Mantle Deareth, and then if they want to trade with us, and then our people bring things in. At most, we sometimes get dwarves from Mithril Hall, but I mean, they're not, well, and she gestures at a decent lot of you. You're all stature.
True.
And certainly never drow.
Well, this one's harmless.
Yeah, I'm thinking about this table.
As you can see, he's quite occupied with intense philosophical conundrums.
How the hell did this table get in here?
So, Manal Berif, what sort of place is that then? Just ignoring
Mantle
Lou completely.
Mantle Deareth.
Deareth.
Well, yeah, Mantle Deareth. It's a place over close by the Dark Lake. It's a general trading depot. You generally see, we have an enclave there. The Drow have an enclave. Let's see. The Duergar have an enclave, and then a group called the Zentarum have a thing there. They're surface dwellers. But I think that's it. That would be the groups that we've got there.
Yeah, a wee bit thin on the ground then.
Yeah, it's one of the few places where you'll get all of us, getting along, you could say. You're not allowed to attack anybody there. It's just trading, just business.
Trying to imagine now who'd be the shiftiest one in that arrangement. I'm guessing the Drow. Probably Zentarum at a close second.
There's the good sense or the bad sense.
Is there a difference?
Apparently.
What is the
all
difference
I
then,
know-
Lou?
Well, the one guy with the bow was very nice and polite, and we should put him in jail for free. Whereas some of them, I mean, maybe they try to stab us.
Polite, courteous, also murderer.
So polite
The other
murderer versus
ones-
not polite murderer.
Yeah, the other ones are just murderers. And dickish.
Oh, wait a second. Y'all will need that table too. There we go.
And I guess
Yeah,
if you have a choice between murderous and polite, or murderous and dickish, the polite ones win out.
Mhm. And yeah, she does block off 2 tables for y'all, particularly with how big y'all are. She doesn't want you to.
Yeah, we've got to go across. Yeah, we've got to go to the side of a room where we can find both the children's chairs and also the normal-sized ones, the specialty seating.
But yeah, they get along, you can say. I don't do any of that. I don't really want to go down there because I don't want to deal with those people. But it's all for general profit, so everybody tends to behave, and there's a rule where you're not allowed to attack anybody there.
Yeah, of course.
So, I mean, we do get a lot of decent stuff from there, and that's where we get most of this ale and the stoughton, for instance. We get it from trading with the Duergar there.
Makes you wonder at this point who's getting the most attention: the incredibly tall blue woman, the drow, or the fucking Quaggoth sipping with his pinky out.
Oh yeah, he is very polite through this whole thing. He is thanking for his food and trying to gingerly eat, and you can tell he's getting a little frustrated because he's trying to, delicately and politely sip his soup, but he's got these giant Quaggoth mitts.
Yeah. We'll need to get you some better cutlery. Some a bit more heft to it. A bit more surface area.
What about? Could he cast Mage Hand?
I do not cast spells.
I think
have
he
no
would
idea how
also
to teach.
refuse. I think he would also refuse being fed.
Yes,
That's
I
not
do
really
not
dignified.
want. I have to figure out how to work these mitts to allow me to eat.
Well, don't worry about it if you've got difficulties. Just gotta learn. Simple as that.
I
Yeah,
really
so
need
you
to find
think
a
we can-
way.
Alex, do you think we can make him something for that?
It's possible.
I need to find a way to be not transformed.
That'd be ideal, but short-term goals, long-term plans.
Agreed. Yes.
And probably our best bet is still on the surface to look for someone up there, right? Or do you want to stay down here?
Oh, I want to go up to my home. I need to find out what's happened to my people while I've been gone.
Well, luckily there's still a few elves about. Tragically.
Thank you,
Hey.
the small elbow. Be nice.
I'm just thinking
You know-
about those few times. I'll get to that story another time.
Speaking of being nice, so if you're not going to accept our patronage for paying for the meal and drinks, how do you feel about giving out for the people who are here, your usual guests?
Well, they're getting plenty of entertainment by being able to watch y'all and listen to y'all's stories. And if you've noticed, you've got several eyes on.
Creepy little
Aye,
tiny
but what do
beady
you?
eyes.
Aye, this time I say a bit taller. But what do you people think about drinks being around the drinks of me?
You get a lot of cheering.
That's not out of here. Come on. I don't know
And
what.
she just goes, okay. And she just starts pouring out the drinks.
Wait, fuck's sake, Bjorn. Only domestic, nothing important. Come on.
All they've got is the stout. They have one thing on tap and that's it.
I think I'm seeing another reason why there wasn't much business here.
After a harsh few months out there, finally seeing some civilization, I say it's time to drink my count until the sunrise comes here.
As he's yelling at the months, just counting on fingers how many days it's been.
Yeah.
It's like a month and a week.
while this is going on, of course, there's a lot of talking, there's a lot of excitement. Yeah, a lot of looks are coming y'all's way. Before the offer for drinks, there was a lot of suspicious looks. There's a lot less suspicious looks now, but you're still getting a little side eye, and this is for all of you.
Yeah.
Lou and Felrecht, yep, you still are getting that it's not comfortable sometimes.
It's okay, though. You can see the subtle changes in their suspicion toward Lou. Goes from was this dangerous driver here is what is that?
Now, this table, I'm really thinking about. Did they roll it through those caves? How they?
Oh, you might
Lou,
notice, Lou.
It's Zirkwood.
How does he manage to breathe without opening his mouth?
I can also point out you can see the slats and fiber. It's not all one piece.
And it's Zirkwood. It's what we use down here, Lou.
Yeah, but yeah.
Uh-huh. Go on. Continue that sentence. I'm waiting.
I'm
It's
not.
just, there was a door that I saw that was definitely leading directly into a cave wall, and I was like, does it push? Does it pull?
Slides.
Oh. Good idea.
Ooh.
But could it fold instead?
Why are you all encouraging him?
I'm not. I'm really trying to help him reach the end of the sentence so he can realize what he just said in hindsight.
I can realize it while I'm saying it.
Because if he doesn't get to saying it, then he'll think, oh, it could have been something clever, but it just was denied, and then we find out, no, it was not. Next time, maybe not that
this is
sentence.
all going on. Any of you who are trying to kind of get a beat on whatever the deep gnomes are discussing, please give me an investigation.
Well, I'm just cutting the crust off Lou's plate.
Yeah, Bjorn is well too
No,
engaged. Engaged trying to get a party going in here. It's been way too long since.
Oh, investigation.
It's
then
been
take
way
that
too long since
roll
he's been allowed to just be a
That's 60.
visitor to a tavern instead of having to run it, and he's going to enjoy every moment of it.
He's so full of shit. Every day, Horik and Bjorn were out in a lash. That was their market
This was
research
underground.
phase, remember?
Yeah, but that wasn't getting.
Yes, it was.
Shit-faced. Not for a dwarf.
All right.
Maybe for a puny human, but not for a dwarf.
For the three that are trying to listen in and figure out what's going on, Uzana, you hear a rumor. You don't necessarily know what it's referring to, but some of the deep gnomes are discussing an incident where they think that the Stoneheart Enclave, a group you haven't heard of yet, is closing in on a solution to the threat of Ogremok's Bane. You don't necessarily know. You can tell it has something to do with the elementals, and that it's not something good. But they're at least hoping that they're coming to a solution soon. Gaddix, you're hearing some news about the ghost problem potentially getting worse. So much so that there's even spirits haunting the catacombs themselves now.
That sounds like a deep gnome problem. We should go.
And then Nadrax, you were the one that found out. Oh, you already did that one, that one, that one. Oh, yes. Duh, I just had a dumb moment. You've heard tale of a crazy Svirfneblin that he was one of the first ones that arrived, but he had recently disappeared. And there's been sightings of him potentially skulking around the unrecovered areas of the settlement. But they're not quite sure what he's doing. anyone else, if you're even listening, even remotely, you are hearing that there is a huge discussion going on about the were-rat situation. Namely, people can't decide what the heck to do with them. Someone to shove them out, someone to try to fold them into the main settlement. And you can tell this is a contentious issue.
Lord, what's the matter with a few Areds? You want us to go out there and beat them up a bit? Teach them a lesson?
Beyond, we've already had the conversation with the leader to say it's a little bit more complicated than that.
Yeah, but this is beyond getting into the mood of it.
Yep, and you start hearing all sorts of things. Again, you hear the group that says, absolutely not, we should try to be friends with them. Only problem is they're apparently not really responding to a lot of those overtures. Others are calling out, of course, yes, please.
Our fight.
And it's not, but it is getting rowdy. There's drink flowing, things are getting a bit rowdy. For a group that seemed to be a little bit dour, once they're in their tavern and the drinks are flowing and they've got some food in them, they are getting very lively.
Hey, Harton, how many of these do you think you could take in in an arm wrestling match at once?
Let's have a look here. So, I mean, some of those guys had pickaxes when they came in, so they're not actually that scrawny looking. But it's a weight disadvantage they've got going on there as the main problem. So that really does affect the leverage. Let's see here. I could probably do 2.5 tables. But then at that point, you're already getting to the issue of how could they even support each other at that point?
Arm extensions?
That'd be more for Gags' this type of gnome, really. Like, you challenge them and then they show up a week later with some sort of steam pumping contraption to do it instead. And if you're lucky, it won't blow up until the end of the
Y'all are having this
match.
discussion.
Mm-hmm.
One comes up. Did I hear you say you wanted to do an arm wrestling?
He was asking a hypothetical on how many I could take out there simultaneously.
You think you could even take me?
Hey, you want to try your luck?
Aye, let's give it a go.
Sure. A nice friendly one, though. We don't need any coin on the table for this.
Oh, aye. And that we will just do, I think, probably a straight strength.
But I've got 10 athletics.
Well, are we sure?
It's about the technique. It's not just raw strength.
All right, I'll let you do
It's
it.
about him standing on the table to do this.
Oh, that's not fair.
I mean, look at the two of them.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Didn't matter. Boom.
It's a case of
Oh, that
the
one
entire
worked.
match. I don't go for the quick end, but he just knows throughout the entire match I was in complete control as the arm slowly comes down. I see.
There is some uproarious laughter.
That's why he was thinking about, some of you working in tandem for it. It was a case of the logistical issue about there, or how you could help each other out.
It does not take almost immediately somebody else. All right, let's give it a whirl.
Are we going again?
New one.
Alright, you want all the fingers?
Oh yeah.
Alright.
Y'all start. Oop, there we go. They're starting to line up. Oh no, Harton is getting.
I think I get both there
The
in
next
sequence.
Give me the next one for the next guy who shows up.
And it is a 15. I do have a chance of failing this year. Let's see.
Nope. You all notice Harton's become very popular now as a bunch of the miners starting to line up to try and see if they can win against the big bloke.
I mean, you look at me here, and, well, yes, for good strapping arms and all, but then you've got this long. As he gives Gives Bjorn a pat from his probably racist diatribe about the were rat problem. He's got arms thicker than mine. And a skull about 3 times as wide. This is the lad you want to
really
test your
want-
metal on.
You really want me to roll a 1, huh?
No. I'm pretty sure you've also got a good roll in this here.
No, I
As
don't.
a matter of fact, now a couple of the ones are saying that you two need to arm wrestle.
But you are a +5, whereas I'm a +4.
What?
Aren't you? I thought you
No.
maxed your strength.
No, I'm +4.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, you have +7 in athletics.
Well, we could do a straight strength
all
roll
are-
then.
Wait, how do you
Yeah.
actually have more in strength?
Expertise.
He's trained.
Ah, okay.
Because you can't do it as a mere dwarf, but I can be a skill expert, a prodigy. Which is what got me animal handling.
But everybody's
Oh, wait.
cheering for Heartland
Well,
and Bjorn.
actually, you know what? You
Oh,
don't
I
have to
fucking
go
know what's
with
coming
the
now.
big
I've s-
advantage. Yeah.
I know exactly what's happening now. You can fuck off with that.
Well, come on.
If you're challenging
I know,
them,
sure,
you can go
fine.
ahead and do it for a laugh, but I'm not doing that with you.
What?
Or if
You've
you...
been going through all this time with a massive height advantage. I think it's only fair. After all, you still have pretty good chances, don't you think?
You two, there is a huge amount of chanting from these two tables here. They want to see you two do an arm wrestle.
Look, I could do a full
After all,
wrestle
it's
in this
well,
case, but an arm wrestle is a bit much in this case. Alright, fine, go on, pop your wee trick. Let's see how we go.
Going into giant size.
But this time I am using
I mean, you're
athletics.
still gonna win. Yeah, so am I.
There is
I've
some
only gotta get it.
cheering.
You get
We
advantage.
know how your rolls go and my roll goes.
No, I get screwed over very easily on this stuff.
Give me your rolls.
Hang on, let me try and get my fucking hand in place here. It's a bit big.
See?
It was very close. You rolled better on the dice.
It was close.
Ah, see him on the dice, yeah. Just a wee bit of technique there.
The tavern goes into uproarious cheers. Do you all have the same HP?
Me? No, I got 63.
I wish.
Yeah, I got 63.
Oh, you caught up.
And Gaddix has 63.
Yeah.
How the fuck does Gaddix have that? He's a... I guess you're a +4, aren't you, in your con?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm +3 in my con.
Yeah, but you're a higher dice value, and I've just rolled really well.
Yeah.
Because for the
Yeah,
last few
I'm
levels,
looking and I'm
Harden
like-
had more HP than Bjorn.
Con and intelligence are my 2 4s. Everything else is like a 2 or a 1. So those are my 2.
Oh, you
good
poor
stats.
fella.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at you three, and because I just saw the bars next to each other, I'm like, wait a second. Y'all have the same HP, and then I looked at Gaddix, and I realized he has the same HP.
Yep. We're the same hit
Yeah, I
dice,
have
he's just got a better
-2,
con.
a 2, a 4, a 4, a 1, and a 0.
4 3 3 0 5 2.
Yeah.
And remember, my wife is better.
Yeah. But
Oh,
like, yeah, my 2 18s went into my constitution and my intelligence because that will carry me as this class.
Oh, by the way, Brina, I think I accidentally found a good code for making Snowflapwin.
So-
But I accidentally forgot to remove Warforge, but I guess it worked.
So are you going to assault now that you've tried to beef yourself up and then got a bit emasculated?
No,
Good.
I told you, you still had good chances, didn't I?
He's gonna
I'll
bring this
take
up.
you.
And
God.
now you proved yourself to be the better.
I mean, you're forgetting who we've tussled with prior as well.
Hey, I was showing them a point.
Aye.
Oh no. So, who are you challenging?
Who do you think?
Bjorn.
He has bested one giant strength dwarf previously, somehow.
Yeah.
And Harton did it for
You
real.
You're
got it.
athletics.
Well, you gotta hurry. I only have a few more seconds of this going, so we
This
gotta
won't take
go
long,
for
you'll be
this quick.
fine. Go for it, don't snap the
This won't
lad's
take
arm.
long.
You don't have athletics? You've got advantage, Ro. You've got advantage.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Only just.
Yeah.
You won't see it. And everybody's on the absolute edge of their seats as Lou starts to win. And Bjorn finally gets that final push of strength and puts him down. And there is uproarious cheering.
You see, the problem is, while he's naturally gifted in strength and competition and whatnot, the problem is he gets too much into his head. He psychs himself out. He's just saying this to Xanaver, as if she hasn't heard this every time.
It was close, though.
If I'd waited an
Yeah.
extra 5 seconds, you would have shrunk in the middle. It would have worked in my favor.
Well, you have beaten one arm of Afrigate before, so, you know, credit to you. He has a belt of Storm Giant strength, which really should have been in the party pile, you know. It would have been a nice little takeaway from Waterdeep Dragon Heist.
Nice try. That's not even in the module.
Yeah, we don't get anything. We've been over this.
I know. I had one thing and it's gone.
Oh, my UC is so low.
Yeah, the module just gives you nothing.
It shows you a bunch of NPCs that have cool stuff, but you don't get that.
Meanwhile,
Alright, the module, half of the module is Jarl Axel.
yep. All his
Yeah,
magic
like
items, which
that-
you don't get back. You don't get off him.
Well,
He's
as a
basically-
matter of fact,
He's basically Dritz in Baldur's Gate. You've got to kill him out of plot in order to get those items.
Oh, no. Here is the fun part. They have covered. In Waterdeep Dragon Heist, they have covered. If you kill Jarl Axel and take his stuff, it is temporary. Because he will be revived and he will personally go after you to get his stuff
Yeah,
back.
exactly. It's like Baldur's Gate 2. Also, just thinking about all these sunlight-sensitive people, I probably left the Dawnbringer in the room for a while, just to give her some time alone.
Well, she would say that if you insist on not having her bright, she would rather be with you.
Well, it's not, like, I love the fact you're a good bright spot of sunlight. That's very nice, very healthy, it's warming and such. It's just a lot of people here aren't used to it, so it's a bit bad for them. Don't want to be a bad presence on the locals, you know.
I understand.
And you
So,
know that I will whip you out
just
whenever I
make
give
me not bright.
And you
Just
know,
make me not bright and let me stay with you.
I will do. And you know for a fact that I'll whip you out at every possible opportunity as we sail off to take on darkness and evil.
Okay, that's fine.
Hey, you have nothing to worry about
Just don't leave me alone in the room.
there. Alright.
Okay. Okay.
I've got a sword with separation anxiety.
Severe, yes.
Happened to be janitor.
But whenever you get a shot, just make sure you know to make me bright.
Absolutely.
Okay. Just checking.
Next time Lee touches you.
Hi!
Flashbang him.
I just close my eyes, but it's still uncomfortable.
You're a twink, your eyelids are too thin.
I need another eye patch.
You know what though? As I'm looking at the arms arrayed on the table here, there's one pair of it I'd be interested in seeing. If you've got a really good pressure on that bowstring, I reckon you could take him. The man of Iorver. He's currently one win, one loss. Is he going to go for two on one topic or not? Maybe he might get a draw.
Oh, that's fair. Why don't we give it a go, eh?
Actually get some dwarven muscle to go up against for the change.
All right, let's give it a go.
Now, as he leans over to him to whisper, now if you think about this here, if you give her a win, she might be very appreciative of it, but then that's not true sportsmanlike for a dwarf after all, so you probably have to go full out here. You've got to really show her what you've got.
All right, I even have. Oh yeah, skill check. Okay, there we go.
All right, give me your athletics.
I forgot I had to do her check.
I'll do her check. I'm
well,
doing
I
her
have it.
check. You do yours.
Okay. Why? Do you really think there's somehow a difference between me clicking the button and you clicking the button?
Well,
here?
yeah, she rolls like shit usually.
It's
And
just
but
the-
look,
Yep.
it is a close match.
Well, he hasn't rolled yet.
Pure strength. Are we doing pure strength or?
Athletics. She just
Okay.
does not have athletics.
Oh, just.
It is a close
Yeah.
match.
Should I do it?
Roll me the 1d4.
Wow.
Whose roll is he doing it on?
Oh no! Fuck. I was gonna add. I was gonna add, not subtract.
What are you going to do to try and bend the luck?
Just blow on the back of her neck.
My
creep.
Yep. Well, unfortunately, it wasn't enough. But ooh, it was close. It was very close. Bjorn, you're thinking you're gonna lose for a minute there. But at the very last second, you pull it through and you pin her arm to the table.
You were just dragging that out to keep a hold of her mitt, weren't you?
Well, you did a good job there. I'm impressed.
Well, you get senior with age.
Well, I tell you what, why don't we get a drink to celebrate then?
Hey,
Get two.
Marky,
One for
why don't you-
celebration, one for commiseration. Go on. Treat yourselves.
let's get some. Let's get some of the strong stuff out here.
And floop, you've got 4 right in front of your table.
All right, now what's this then?
It's the same stout as before, because it's all we got.
Oh, well, fair enough.
It is strong stuff.
Hey,
So, do you intend to stay? Because now things are winding down. Do you intend to just stay the night and then pop off in the morning to try to figure out stuff to do, or?
Okay. I'm just gonna do a cheeky bit of taking out the mushroom vodka and put
Adding
2
it?
small shot glasses in the stout, one in each.
Hang on a
Honest
second
up.
though. Hang on. Once you uncork that there, give it a listen. If you hear wedding bells, put the cork back in.
Aye, very funny. Once it turns into alcohol, it ain't her business no more.
For some reason, it goes to Yunagu. We don't know why. It just giggles when you open it up.
The cackling laughter. But after, because I assume that you all aren't going to try to go out after dinner, considering things are starting to close down.
It's a case of we'll finally make use of this one day of rest.
Good
We have-
idea.
We have been on the road for a long time. We have not been within walls and such for a long time. And it'll be nice just to think that the drow will get here tomorrow and be pissed the fuck off at where we are.
Because they can't get you.
Hopefully.
I
Oh, they
think we
cannot
stay here
get
for a
you.
year and wait him out.
If you do ask Jim Jar, who are we trying to avoid?
We go over to the Tale of Saloon. We skip quite a lot of parts, though. Just that he was a drow serial killer running around in Waterdeep. And he took a particular offence to Louis offending him.
Yeah.
And took offence to me being nice to him. And took extreme offence at Nadrax being an absolute dick to him.
To be fair,
You mocked him at his hanging.
At least I apologized, sorta.
Yeah, see that last bit? That doesn't hold it up well.
Yeah, I'm not saying I didn't get it. I got what I deserve.
you just hear Felric.
It probably won't happen again.
Oh, and he doesn't like Felric because he's quite nice.
Yes.
That's about it.
Well, and I'm a lieutenant. You forgot that because Kribbig is also on the list.
Oh yeah. You're pretty high up.
Do
Lost.
you say that so confidently that it won't happen again? What makes you so sure?
I'm not sure he is.
How many
Do you think
revenants would Lou
Kribben's-
actually have chasing him?
Do you think Kribbit is still alive?
Oh, aye.
It would
He
probably hear
better
about it if
be.
he wasn't.
Lou's the main priority, don't forget.
Yeah, but if he happened to had the shot for it to take him out on the way, you know.
Kribbig would have to be in the Underdark, unless somehow he got released on the surface, handled Kribbig, and then went down. But I don't see that happening.
I think he's pretty much fine.
So is Krabbin kind of like in charge up top right now?
The
Oh.
one who's in charge up top right now is Beniago.
I mean, he's probably in charge of Waterdeep right now.
No, oh no, Kribbig's not in Waterdeep right now. All of the little business ventures are currently being ran by the individuals Jarlaxle has put in charge of them. I don't know if there are any drow currently stationed in Waterdeep actively. Mostly it would be surface agents who don't really know that, well, they're ours. Waterdeep is not really a strong place for us.
Well, not
Sure
at this
about
One
that.
point. no.
extremely profitable heist.
Well, to be fair, it wasn't extremely profitable for us because we just gave it directly back.
Aye, all of it, yeah. I'm sure there's no profit to be
All the
had in what was
points.
held back.
All of the coins were held back. It was just the political goodwill in that certain staff.
Sure, I'm glad we're so welcome to Waterdeep that we're captains of the guard.
Well, what they don't know won't hurt them, and it's not like you were. Well, you all will absolutely defend the city any chance you get. It's
I
not
hold
an
up my, my
unjust.
penguin ring. Oh, it's in danger right now. Oh, false alarm. Oh my god.
Darling, oh dear. He just kind of pats the back of your head.
We have to go save Waterdeep.
Well, good luck getting there. If you find a way, let me know. I'll join you. But you are here. You get to spend the night. And yes, it is a comfortable night. And it's a wonderful experience. The temperature is perfect. It's not overly damp. You don't have to worry about rolling over into a little puddle of something. And most importantly, it is a soft bed with sheets. Something that you all haven't had in quite some time.
Oh, well, let's have a wee go and check on the structural integrity of Snurfibblum craftsmanship, shall we?
She misses the joke and just says, all of the beds are crafted perfectly well, thank you very
He
much.
wasn't
and
saying
they
that
will
in public,
not
that was
fail."
between him and Uzan in the room.
Oh, okay. Well, if you said it in public, that's what she would have said.
Meanwhile, Gaddix is literally investigating the craftsmanship of the Snurfibblum beds.
Yeah, no, I'm taking notes.
You can put more metal there. Why is there no spring hinge here? This has no dispensers whatsoever built into the frame.
He's getting so frustrated, he's pulling his tools out and fixing things.
What is this for? Sleeping? Why is it just the one thing?
Why are there no levers and buttons?
I have to climb
Yeah,
out of
like-
this myself like a peasant?
Yeah, like you come back and he has a self-raised, lowering and raising bed, you know.
But
Kinda
there's
like his
just
grandma's
fucking
chair.
oil and grease every fucking where.
Yeah.
It rattles and hisses when it moves.
Where is
He
that
has a
steam even coming
waterbed
from?
with his oil.
It's got the sound of like the bus air. It's got the bus brakes on it whenever it moves like an inch. Just like kish. And we're probably not welcome there again.
But it's a pleasant night. You all get your rest.
Let's
And-
see.
Upon waking, there is the wonderful smell of breakfast. It is a mixture of what seems to be eggs and mushrooms, and some form of bread. And over breakfast, Jim Jar floats the idea. Well, what are we going to be doing today, friends?
It's a fine
What do you
question.
want to check? I can help you navigate around almost anything.
So, did any of you bend your ear or what to the general rabble?
Well, seems like most what everyone was yabbering about was rat people.
Well, that's the big main
Well,
quandary.
that's-
I'll even talk about the. What was he called? Like a chieftain or the head boss or whatever? The mining lead?
There was also the one guy that was crazy, apparently.
Oh yeah, because you were asking Corvus about the Digger Maddox.
Digger Maddox, there we go.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. The those two are the leaders. There's the guy and the girl. But yeah.
So we know that's a big one to tackle, but there's also the fact that a big part of the city has slimes rolling about in it that hasn't been reclaimed yet, and you've got this crazy bloke who was running in there, so... Oh yeah, Gloober. You still feeling that pull?
Yep, I most certainly am.
Forgot to bring him out during the festivities, that would have been fun.
He actually would have declined.
Ah,
He was a bit busy, and he'd be worried about accidentally bumping into somebody.
true enough. Then he just would have matched the Dungeon Mayhem cards, though.
Mhm.
He would have made friends with one acid-resistant gnome.
But yep, there was the Stoneheart Enclave looking for the solution, and as far as they know, closing in on the solution for Ogre Mock's Bane.
I have no idea what either of those things are.
Nope.
Jim Jar, Tappy, you have any clue?
Jim Jar is the one to speak up first. Stoneheart Enclave. Well, that's a. Currently, I believe they've gotten the area of the Ruby and the Rough back settled. Oh yes, they have. Sorry, with all the time I've been gone in the city, it's been a bit complicated.
I'm honestly surprised it's not a dwarf enclave with that name.
Oh no. See, here's the actual. Where is the Stoneheart Enclave section? Cheese and crackers. They make this very difficult because they hide it in like 18 different sections.
Yeah, and it could be in a wee sidebar as well.
Yeah, but then they don't put the sidebars in place either.
Like all the trouble we had trying to find out any info about the kids who dominate all of the artwork in the book.
But they're only in the subsections. In
Yep.
this case, the area for the temple stuff is actually in 3 different sections. So that's why I'm trying to figure out where exactly. I think it's in this section. Yeah, here's the priest of. There we go. Yes, they do explain. Basically, it's a group of Svirfneblin spellcasters, once trained by the Emerald Enclave, but they splintered off when they came to come back down here. Their focus is purely on earth elemental magic. Effectively, they absorbed 2 of the surviving priesthoods. The ones involving Sigojin Earthcaller, who was the Svirfneblin god of deep earth and nature, and Caladuran. Yeah, there we go. Caladuran Smooth Hands, which is the god of stone and mining. Basically, and you saw 1 or 2 of them out in the city. You saw a couple earth elementals help following around and acting as guards. And that would be the Stoneheart Enclave's effectively job. They use their magic for some engineering tasks as well. They widen the burrows, close off tunnels. Jim Jar even explains that in key points they'll be putting spell gems places and invoking them with spells so that if need be they can be activated. generally they're very important to the continuation of the settlement.
And how about the rear end of his sentence? The one that they seem to be having a solution towards?
Ah, that Ogremark's Bane. I'm actually a bit surprised to hear that they have anything going for that. Well, in some of the unsettled areas of the city, we don't know exactly when it showed up, but it was somewhere between the drow obliterating the settlement and us trying to reclaim it. It's a cloud, one might say. It floats about the uninhabited caverns. Every so often it'll come into the inhabited caverns and cause absolute chaos, but any of our earth elementals that are summoned, if it gets in contact, it'll absolutely drive them crazy. We'll lose all control of them, and, well, that just doesn't work very well.
So it's like a twisted elemental force.
Yes. As a matter of fact, the idea, the rough idea that we have for it is it might have been related to one of the elemental princes. It's a malevolent entity,
Aye.
not of this plane.
As for a crazy lad running back to the city, could be a mushroom issue. Possibly to spy on the goos and jellies.
Has it been known to start scratching on his neck?
Can you repeat that?
Has he been known to start scratching on his neck a lot?
Who?
The crazy guy.
You did not hear anything about that. You just know that he's bonkers.
Hmm.
Well, it's an easier issue, and I would like to check out the possibly slime-infested area just to give it a wee look-see.
And there was also the undead and the ghost problem, particularly in the catacombs.
Well, new people die every day.
Mhm.
Could be a wee job in it then. Downside, of course, it's not quite the full adventure experience because we're going into the catacombs of a completely still functioning city, so we'd have to leave everything there and just quell the problem and hope for a nice little cash reward. Or at least some thanks, that'd be nice.
Tappy does pop in and say, well, if you're looking to either discuss the Ogremock Bane incident or the Crypt incident, you'd probably want to go to the Ruby and the Rough. That would be where you would want to discuss that situation, probably.
Bjorn, isn't that a fest hall we walked past once? I think its focus were on Tiefling girls.
Definitely sounds like that place.
One for me, of
Lots
course.
fewer horns than you would think.
Well, so what are we thinking here? I'm interested in the mad lad and the goo. Putting some spirits to rest would always be helpful for a place. No idea what to do about a cloud, but storms and such are one of my forts. And of course we've got Burn here. So what are we thinking?
Yeah, I think we can deal with the crazy guy. The ghost, that would be more your job. I think, probably.
Yeah, I don't think that's something I can fix with gun.
We did.
Yeah, let's imagine.
It was only a few days ago.
Well, he's already dead. What's the problem?
Different ghost.
Felric just looks over. You have to bring them back to death, not unlife.
There's not a scientific basis for that.
Don't you fucking start that. We've had this conversation over the years.
And every time he's told you it's BS, he still doesn't believe it.
I have
you
facts
actively
and
see
figures
ghosts.
backing me up here. Uzi's got
Yeah,
the fucking
he's-
statistics.
You know what? Gaddix is a ghost denier. He's like he's seen it with his own eyes, but nope.
I will kill you and bring you back just so you know the ghosts are real.
Well, if ghosts were real, why isn't he still a ghost? I mean, he's alive again, so they can't be real.
Don't you fucking start. We've literally fought spirits and spooks and ghosts.
We literally have one in the tavern.
Huh.
He plays checkers before.
And then Lou and Guy just look at each other like, you thought that was a ghost.
Yeah,
That's
he's
adorable.
about to say, no, that's just Auric.
He's just so
Oh
fast.
no,
you
and
can't
I
see
know
him.
something even worse.
This happens every fucking year at Winterfest. He gets drunk and starts spouting that shit again.
Ah.
Right, there, we've made a choice then. We're going to settle some ghosts and put them to peace.
What about the goo?
We'll get to that afterwards, it won't take that long.
So what about the were
3 weeks later.
The whereas I don't have a solution to right now, we'd have to have a long conversational with him. I think it's a bit early in the day
yeah,
for him to be dealing.
But that's the plan. We'll just talk to him first and see how it goes.
That would be ideal, is to have a conversation, see where things stand.
Okay. For now, ghost and goo.
I'm not ruling out
There-
violence.
there-
There might even ambushes and what takes him down. It's just a case of I'd prefer if we could start with a conversation. But I do want to follow up on that mad lad who managed to get back in the city and has just been doing his own little things. I feel like some people in the group might actually be handy at tracking people down.
All right, so Ruby in the Rough. You do actually find out as you're brought through all the way up over here. Actually, let me reveal the whole area now. You did pass by the general area with the Ruby in the Rough in it before, but you hadn't known what it was at the time. It is exactly as one would expect, a fully functioning temple. Eventually when you show up, it's still a little bit rough. You can tell that there had been some damage done to the place before, and they're slowly working on repairing all of the damage and the desecration that had been done. But when you show up and you're introduced, somebody moves over to greet you, and he just says, "Oh, hello there. I'm Glyphic Shroom Light. It's good to meet you."
I just thought of something. For Gaddix, ghosts are not the spirits of the undead. There's no soul. That's not something that exists. They're just psychic imprints. That's all they are. They're a magical echo. So he tries to science and logic it. There's no way they're actually the spirits of people. That doesn't exist. There's no such thing as a soul.
I thought Cargo had a soul.
That kind of reminds me of my
Cargo has
first incantation of Cornelius, who was a wizard that did not believe in gods. It
No,
was just
Congo doesn't have a soul.
It was just basically people who just. It was just magic that was used in a different way. That people just too small-minded to interpret as some divine act.
No. See, a real wizard believes in gods, but believes them as temporary.
Yeah.
Welcome to Camoriel. What?
These are but an obstacle.
Every god's a false god.
Oh, try that line around Menzo. Good luck there.
Please don't try
Yeah, but
that
I'm not
around Menzo.
I'm not that stupid.
It's okay, you just
Good,
say,
really?
all the gods are false gods except our god.
There you go. Except
So I'm like
Wolf. There we
99%
go.
right there. I'm 99% of the way there.
Fuck Mask. He's a joke.
All of a sudden, you run into some very angry priests of Veyron.
That's okay, though. He's They're looking for someone who's insulting Mask. I don't know if it's Veyron guy.
So I will point out, frequently, depending on the mood of the day, they'll just pretend that it's the same god. The priests of Veyron very frequently try to claim that Mask is literally just an aspect of Veyron, and vice versa.
Well, it's lovely to meet you here. We've heard a few wee whisperings that you've got a slight haunting problem in the catacombs. Is that a recent little thing, or just been numbers increasing too much?
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear somebody about that. It's recent. We are trying to keep it under control. It's just, and we do have some help down there. It's just sometimes they don't necessarily want to listen, and then we have to try to send them back. I haven't done my run down there for the day. If you want to try to keep a run, just if they, are polite and they don't want to leave, please don't make them.
All right, so
Only,
full kid gloves
only the
in.
troublemakers.
Aye.
Yes. For the most part, I mean, they should be okay down there, but
I don't suppose
I
you've
just
got.
haven't gone down today.
I don't suppose you've got any helpful literature on who they might be wanting to go off to. I've got to admit, the
If
Gnomish
you just
pantheon
send
is a bit
them,
of
they'll
an.
find their way.
All right, that'll do. Yeah.
For the most part, it's going to be Sigojin or Smooth Hands. There we go. And there might be one or two, and he gives Jimjar a little bit of a side eye, who might want to go to someone else, but they will find their way on their own, I assure you.
All right, so we'll just talk them down, see if they're going to be peaceful.
Ghost
And
friend.
if they want to go, let them. If they're not quite there at all and you think they're just trying to do motions, then you can also send them on their way. But if they know and they want to stay, and I'm mostly thinking about one in particular, let them stay, okay?
All right, Gags, are you ready for this? We're going to meet real ghosts again. This is not an infrequent occurrence for us.
I will mention one other thing. There's somebody, because y'all are trying to do some work, right?
Aye.
Yes.
If you're looking for work, try going on down to the Speaking Stones. We got somebody who's a little bit more senior than me, who probably has some work there.
Might as well do that now, actually, before we go down.
Well, that's a bit a ways away. If you want to handle that, I advise you do it just now. Otherwise, you're going to have to walk all the way down there and then potentially come back.
Oh no, I have to walk the length of the city and back again. That's a novel feature.
Yeah, just to look at the guy since he suggested that. Can I do an insight to see just how pointy and red like his teeth are?
Are his eyes too close together?
Yeah.
Give it a whirl. Give me an insight.
Bjorn going with racial
There we go.
profiling here.
Bjorn, he is not a were-rat. However, you get the idea this poor guy is young and inexperienced, and he's doing stuff well above his pay grade here. You could tell he's just trying to get things done.
Just fresh out of a seminary, not quite ready for all this.
This is not an experienced cleric in any stretch of the imagination. You probably have a feeling that, I mean, Harton would be able to blow this poor lad out of the water. This is.
Although
a
he beat me in
new
a religion check.
outfit.
I have a 0. He knows the facts, but he doesn't have the fire and brimstone on the priory, you know? He's not ready to be the man in the pulpit. Alright, now,
Which is-
as we head down here, it should go without saying, but I'm gonna have to say it anyway, because I know who we're dealing with here. Best behaviour, show respect.
Ghost friends.
You don't have to act friendly to them, but just don't be a dick to them. These people have already died, they probably don't need their day to get worse.
I've just got a nudge, Han. You know, if you just set Lou down there for about half an hour, they're going to be begging to go back to the afterlife.
A one-man performance, the best audience he could ever have. He'd get fucking
not
possessed and they'd
dead.
kill themselves just to get rid of him.
That's a part of you that just wants to slap Lou in the back and say, "Go knock him dead, right?"
There is, but it's not the one I'm giving into. The lad has potential and promise, and he needs a chance. Again, another one. Just like with you, just like with Horik, just like with Gags. One day you'll surprise me and make me proud. Let's go down. 20 years of continual camaraderie. One day I won't be sad about this.
That's the human condition.
You all head on down.
In this,
into
very
the
literally so.
catacombs.
Because he knows all the rest of them are going to be like this for centuries.
But the catacombs are what you would expect for catacombs. They're actually very neat and orderly. For the most part, it's a regular grid. Catacomb section, you have a little walking section. It is all very formulaic. There are a couple statues where people have placed urns or niches with slots for remains to be placed.
We don't need those septums. Get your hand out of there.
And yeah, it is very, very easy to navigate around. You really don't have any risk of getting lost. And there is light down here. As you all are wandering, you do eventually find a couple of ghosts. For the most part, you don't think they know that you're there. They just seem to be kind of confusedly wandering, but not hostile.
Try to engage a few of them like that there to see if they're going to respond.
When you try, you get nothing. You don't even think they realize you're there.
Well, I'd love to send these ones on all because I think they're past it, but I'll leave it up to a properly ordained priest of our faith. It'd just be polite. Mind you, Valkyr could use a few Smurfenlun on the ship. I'm
From
only
the
joking,
wall,
don't look at me like
a
that.
head pops out. From the wall, when you say that, a head pops out and says, "Well, I don't think they would much appreciate that."
I was only joking, only a wee jest, I wouldn't do that.
Oh, that's fine enough. And finally, the Svirfneblin floats through the wall. "Oh, y'all are new ones down here. What are you doing here?"
I'll lend a hand. The priest above looked a little bit overwhelmed. He says there's troublemakers down
Aye.
here, one in particular.
"Oh, you might be talking about me, but I'm not a troublemaker."
At the moment you seem social enough, you're not throwing things around or causing harm.
Yeah. Oh, you keep running into trouble. Some of the ones rise up and then they don't quite behave themselves and they need to get put down.
Yeah, those are the
I
ones we're
try to
looking
run
for.
up and give them a news. Yeah. Right now, there's not any today.
That's good. So, who were you?
Her Warden Yadger. At your
don't-
service.
Hang on, I'm still writing that one down.
I'm sorry, a what
Warden.
warden?
Burjurgen.
Burrow Warden
A
Yadger.
Borough warden.
Yes. I was about to say, you should know what a Burrow Warden is. Yeah, let me just copy pasta. Burrow Warden Yadger.
Yeah, nice to meet you. I'm Father Glimbrick. I never go
Borough
for your sort
warden,
of names.
Yodka.
Oh no.
Oh, I forgot we're in the Underdark. Shit.
Yeah.
No.
Yodka from Bligdestone.
You know what name's going to come up in a moment here.
I know.
Ah.
Can't
Always gotta slip that one in.
Can't wait to reunite with my friend, your Lexel Beanry,
No.
the foppish flamboyant swordsman of breaking the earth.
At least Bregan the Earth sounds right, even with that.
Well, that's already Swedish, that's
Like,
why. Like we
Really
said,
good
that's the
news.
accent down here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been down here since, well, the fall of Blingdenstone.
And you just felt you had to keep your guard up?
Oh, why they were damn drow in my city.
Oh, no, I'm
he
talking
looks
about
over-
nowadays.
Yeah, I know, but that's why I've been staying about. It took forever to get them to wander off. I'll excuse these two because they seem to be behaving.
No, these are perfectly fine.
Hi. I'll be your friend if you want.
Oh, we'll see about that.
Okay.
Aye, that one
Yes.
is only the drow in appearance.
Mostly farm-born. But
Oh,
yeah,
like
so...
mushroom farms?
No,
He was
actually...
a free range drow.
no, above ground, actually. He was a proper halfling.
No, that's a cute. Yeah, I won't ask.
Free range and corn fed.
Organic.
So no troublemakers down here right now.
Not today. I can't promise anything tomorrow because, well, what with some of the issues we've been having, you never know. But
So why do you consider a
If you're willing
troublemaker?
to- oh, I'm not really a troublemaker. I just don't stay put, and well, I do some arrangements. Is all I can say there. There's just, well, you know, a couple things going on. Is it?
I'm interested in the details.
Well, do you know much about our people?
Not a whole heap at the moment, to be perfectly honest. They're just your diligent workers for the most part.
Aye, we have a secondary issue, which is the fact that we really don't keep track of well, our history and what's all been happening. It's never been our people's way to really keep in touch with that sort of thing.
It's just
But-
surprising considering how much you carve in stone, you know?
Oh, you'd think, but we've never really kept a written history of anything. Frankly, I'm one of the only people who knows what truly happened down here. Many of our people don't even know why Blindingstone was taken in the first place.
You've not had any luck
Just that the damn
beseeching
drow
someone
did it.
to... You've not had any luck beseeching someone to scribble it down for you?
Oh, nah, it's not. To be realistic, it's past history, eh? But,
Well, it can be useful
the
though, you
idea
can
of-
learn lessons from it.
True, I suppose, but one thing that I have finally managed to, well, work on is I've got a handful of some youth that got some promises, and I've been training them to potentially become new borough wardens. That's one tradition I don't think we should be letting die.
Oh, is the Borough Warden position no longer fulfilled here?
Oh no! Actually, if you ask them what a borough warden is, they wouldn't have the faintest idea.
To be honest, I've no clue myself. I just figured like a tunnel fighter.
More esteemed. Generally, the borough wardens were the ones that we were in charge of protecting the others. Protecting different sections, and not really, well, in a way, a leader. People, somebody to look up to.
See, at the moment, I'm still just thinking of this as like a town guard captain.
Step up.
Yeah.
You generally go from town guard, captain, expedition leader to eventually being raised up to borough warden. You don't just get to be a borough warden because you're good at fighting or good at expeditions.
Alright, fair enough.
It was a position of respect in a way that Swerfneblin knew that if you were a borough warden, you were somebody you could trust to get the job done.
Yeah, I can believe that.
So I got some young ones, and I think we might be getting some shortly. I don't know when we're going to try to push to get proper recognition from those digger Maddocks. As it is, I'm already a bit annoyed that they're still shifting their foot about being called the king and queen of Blingdenstone. But that ain't my job, is it?
Well, it is a bit of a lofty title, especially when the city itself still hasn't been cleared out properly.
Oh, let's be realistic. They're the king and queen and everything but name only.
Aye. But you know what I mean, it's nice to have a wee bit of ceremony to it afterwards once you've gotten, the slimes out, the were rats under control in some way, shape, or form. I could see why you would hold off on it. For now, job to do, Silver Digger Maddox.
Well, either way, I mean, if y'all do need a little bit of work, I've got something for you.
Well, not against taking the requests of the departed.
We've got a bit of an issue with a, ghost. The name of Vazook. He's gotten to be a bit of a problem. And he kind of gives you a little bit of directions. And you realize that he's talking about in this cavern here.
Mm-hmm.
I heard he's been harassing some individuals who have tried to move into his former residence. I have a feeling, yeah, he's attached greatly. I mean, who can blame somebody when, you get to see your wife and child murdered in your house and then you follow?
Well, hopefully something I never experience. It's pretty unlikely.
Alright,
My wife
hopefully.
is deadly.
He needs a little bit of help moving on, eh?
Yeah, we can definitely give him a word. Incidentally, do you get to surface much, or do you just generally hang around here?
I've never been there.
Well, no, I mean just above, where we are now, in Blingdenstone, on the streets.
Oh, outside. Oh, yeah. I know the whole area, and frankly, before I died, I knew a good bit of the Underdark in general.
You still do your wee patrol bits now and again, just for the fun of it.
In the city, aye.
Aye.
I don't leave the city, though.
Aye. We've heard this bit about some lad who's a bit cracked in the head, who's been skulking around, keeping away from everyone else and doing his own wee things up in the unclaimed sector.
Oh, that bloke.
Have you seen eyes on him?
Aye, he's nutters. I haven't been able to track him all the way through, though. I've been a bit afraid that I got too much attention, but
What
he's
is it?
in an area north of Rocklight.
Not a Rocklight, okay. Incidentally, what is it that's making people just outright say he's crazy? Like, is he uttering wildly or something?
Well, here's the interesting bit. When he first came about, he was little off, but sane. After a bit, he left. I can't really put my finger on a date, but it did cause a bit of a kerfluffle when he flat out left, and well, now he's back and sulking about areas, and he gestures around this way. From what I can tell, it used to be floating about where the king and queen used to reside. But, well, I haven't been up in that area. There's been the ooze issues.
Best to keep yourself safe.
Exactly. And I can tell you, it is an issue. Every time I've tried to make a foray out there, there are some areas that are covered.
That'll be a fun one to push through, but worth doing after all. If you just leave them to their own devices, they're just going to keep staying there, spreading.
I'm honestly a bit surprised a ghost would be afraid of oozes.
And they can still attack.
But can they actually hurt you?
It's a little bit harder. A lot of things can hurt us. The question is if they can kill us before we kill it.
Right now, his spirit is in partial corporality, which means it can be extinguished, it can be threatened and harmed, even with doesn't really need much of it. Like a torch could be waved through him with a fire and such. It's not going to do a lot, but it is going to hurt.
Aye.
And as
Same thing with a blade.
Aye. And as a departed spirit, it's pretty hard to put himself back together without delving into dark necromantic experiences.
Fair enough.
And don't get me wrong, I do intend to eventually go back to me rest, but I want to at least make sure that the Burrow Wardens get settled before I do.
Yeah. Don't think we have the experience to help with that bit, though.
Nah, but it's alright. You'd be surprised. Young Trisk is doing pretty good. I think he's almost ready to make a demand of the Digger Maddox.
I'm sure it'll be local news for a while in the pub.
Now, do you believe there's any way to reason with the goats we're about to convince to let the new inhabitant live in his house?
Oh no, that ain't gonna be happening. He's gonna need to be sent on his way.
Ooh.
Fair enough.
Aye.
Now, if you do end up going out into the Rockblight area, I would like you to keep an eye out. Because I have received some reports that one of our boys went out there and did not make it back. And I would like the remains to get put in here where they belong.
Or we might get lucky and he's just been hiding.
No, that's not the report I got. He is deceased, just unrecoverable for the moment.
Alright, we'll have a look-see.
Thank you.
Now,
You'd be looking for Udhask.
a fair but perhaps a bit of a morbid question. How do we make sure that we get enough pieces of him back?
Just do your best.
You usually bring about as much as you can, but also personal effects if they happen to be still rattling about.
Exactly. I don't expect y'all to do miracles. Just generally, if you can help, we'd appreciate it, right?
You see, Bjorn, it's mainly because I've told you this before, for fuck's sake. You never listen. It's mainly about you give them a presence of the remains where they can get a sense of somewhere to go and latch onto. But don't need the entire thing, but it helps them see it faster, you know.
Hey, but it's also nice to make sure that's the same thing everywhere. Someone might be a little bit more concerned about everything, and someone's like, just do your best.
Oh, absolutely. But it's a case of, like, worst case scenario, a few bones and a skull if you're lucky. That'll be enough to give them an idea of where to go.
Aye, as long as they at least have something.
Exactly.
And
Usually
hopefully
back in
maybe
our
there's a
place-
full body.
Usually in our place, it's usually get at least the beard back.
That's why he fears fireballs so much. It's like they got the full dental records, the face is still untouched, but without the beard, I don't know who this is. Is this my husband or just some other dwarf?
The alcohol has just removed any imprint on the teeth. They're all just equally the same size.
It burned up so much alcohol he doesn't even have the correct stench. I can't tell what he drank. This man might not be my lover.
But the Borough Warden does give a response, give you one more statement, which is, I can't be rewarding you with anything physical for obvious reasons. I ain't got coin laying about. But for everyone you help lay down to rest, if you want, I can answer you a question that you might find important. Again, I know the Underdark fairly well. Some of it's out of date, but I can probably give you some good answers.
I imagine you've got a fair bit of knowledge in your head about the area that the were-rats have taken over. Or have still been inhabiting all this time.
Used to be a market, but, well, not anymore.
Well, maybe in future. But hey, you've been very helpful, and probably be down tomorrow as well, just in case there's trouble. Along with reporting whatever we can.
Oh, that'd be appreciated. The poor lad up top, I have no doubt he's gonna be excellent. Give him, 30 years, but, I mean, what are we going to do? They don't necessarily have a wealth of talent to draw off of. The current leader of the entire thing is gone away for the moment. Hopefully she'll be back soon.
Hopefully. Alright, let's go serve this eviction notice.
And
Now, Lou, did you see what occurred there? And Gax, you
made
better
friends
been
with the
paying
ghost?
attention as well. What'd you say?
We made friends with a ghost?
Aye. Because that was the still lingering spirit of a person, as someone you could communicate with.
I'm ambivalent on the ghost thing, but I'm team friends with ghosts.
Not
Do
about
they
that.
exist? Maybe.
Yes,
friends
they
with them, for
do.
sure.
We've just done this.
We were literally just talking with one.
That's just my friend.
Hey, now in any case, let's go and evict a ghost.
Aye. This one, still respectful, but we don't have to be nice to him.
No, we can say, "Ah, fuck, sorry for your loss," as I stab you.
I mean,
And
he might not be wrong in that one, but
Silence
Yep,
would have
he's
just been
not
better
wrong
at that point. Sorry, Rena?
you do find it's not hard when you're trying to get there and find the exact house.
I mean,
that
the handiness
holds
is the
this,
name and all. We're looking for Vazook's old place. Problem ghost.
Shockingly, none of the Sverfneblin have any idea where Vazook's place is. But if you do mention you're looking for a ghost, you are quickly pointed to a residence where they explain that it had been empty and, as far as we know, not haunted. But once the family tried to move in, well, anytime anybody gets near the residence now, it starts kicking up a fuss.
I think he's gone beyond the pale here, so we'll get this handled for you, no worries.
Cheers, we will appreciate it.
Aye, that's all you have to do.
As you all approach the house, you do open the door, and on the inside, you can actually see what seems to be some leatherworking tools. Quite possibly, this individual, at least somebody in the home, used to do some form of leatherworking when they were alive. And the moment you cross the threshold, a Sverfneblin specter appears and starts shouting, "Mine! My stuff, not yours! Leave!"
I shout back, "Shut the fuck up!" You are done here. It is time to finally go see your wife and kids. You are rooting around in the remnants of what you were, instead of going on to what you should be.
He immediately points at the two drow behind you and says, "I see what did this right here, and I'm going to end it." He is attacking. You don't have to roll initiative because I assume y'all are gonna bloody obliterate him.
I mean, I kind of have a weapon for this, yeah.
He's got a point.
Yeah.
the
probably
DM
wasn't
has
even born
already
when this
thrown
happened.
in the towel.
I mean, he's just a specter. This is a narrative
It's one.
encounter. Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
I'm not gonna run a full.
oh, he's fucked!
Yep. It's not even close. Dawnbringer comes out. You get some oohs and ahs as a couple of people are standing there and watching when this happens.
Yeah.
And he's gone.
It's just Harton bringing the fire and brimstone thing. It's time for you to move on to your fucking afterlife and go back to your proper family, and then just fucking incinerated.
It's time for you to go to your afterlife and be a family man.
No more bachelor
Oh, no,
boy
it-
days for you.
Because also that's undead.
Yeah.
So, yeah, utterly gone. Do you all leave, or do you want to investigate the area a little bit?
I mean, the people have moved in, right? We don't want to go rooting around in their shit.
Oh, no.
No, they
Oh
haven't?
no, they have not. It was when they were trying to move in that the issue happened.
Yeah, we'll have a look, see if there's anything out of place or weird. If there's a burrow for our
Alright.
were-rat, for example, in the corner.
Give me a perception.
Disadvantage for the drow because I've got Dawnbringer out.
I'll just do it with my eyes closed.
Shit, Captain.
Bjorn, you're the only one that gets it. Everybody else is apparently too busy looking at, the leatherworking stuff.
I mean, I'm busy
And
saying
the,
prayer and all. I'll give them a chance to send off.
Yeah, Bernard, you just find a very interesting mushroom in the corner. That's all you're staring at. It occurs to you it's not any sort of magical mushroom, but it is very pretty. Blue, you do notice that there's a couple, marks on the walls that were clearly done by
Hang
blades.
on. Disadvantage on that. I've got sunlight here.
My
All right,
eyes
Lou,
are
give me another
closed.
one.
I'm looking in the 5 feet surrounding me, and that's it.
Well, in that case, Lou, you are quite aware that there are scratch marks on the walls. You have a feeling some of these might have been done by blades, and then it occurs to you that they're probably drow blades. Some innocent people probably died here. One of which you sent to the afterlife. Bjorn, you realize there's a trapdoor.
Hey, you think the drow missed a couple of barrels?
It's more concern of Arthur remains down there. Let's crack it open, let's have a look. We don't want any more cold shiverings going on here.
You realize when you pop open the door, it's less a trapdoor and more just a open floorboard area that opens to a small Zerkwood chest. And it's tiny.
It's always so weirdly gooey to touch this.
I'm not a fan of Zerkwood,
Oh, no. Zerkwood, it feels just like regular wood.
Yeah, but it
To
just
us,
imagine it's
to
like-
us
for some
overlanders,
reason,
you know.
it's there's yeah, I imagine it's like a little bit of feeling of give in some weird way.
You also just can't
It's
separate it
something.
from what it was, you know? It was a tree, you can imagine the tree, but there's a mushroom, it's hard to picture.
As far as it feels, it looks and feels like wood, but you just know it is Zerkwood.
Yeah.
It's not really got the
But
same
the
proper
tiny
scent
chest, the tiny chest does contain 8 tiny rubies, worth 250 gold each.
to it. Walk. Now I can see why he was still here.
My stuff, not yours.
Well, it's time to donate this to the diocese.
Whoa.
The priesthood of Valkyr will appreciate these quite nicely.
Hey, we did some of the work.
Did you?
I said we.
We cheered.
Yay!
I picked the mushroom.
See, Bernard found a mushroom.
I'm glad we're such a strong fucking team. Holy shit.
Bernard just walks in and said, I picked the mushroom. Anyway, what are we walking about?
I think this could make vodka.
Pretty much. What did you guys find?
Nothing. Just some geology. Bet you wouldn't be interested. It's not very fascinating.
Okay, yep, no problem.
Only joking with you. One of the last life savings. I'm guessing he probably doesn't have surviving family considering the situation. That's a. But we'll work out what to do with these later.
We should at least give some of them to the rebuilding effort of the city, I think, right?
Aye. We donation.
Maybe half.
Alright, so, next job then. What you feeling?
We have a lead on the crazy guy.
We do.
Yeah, that has to do with the slimes. So
And the previous
with
king and
one
queen. He could be written around for
There
something
was-
important there.
There was the speaking stones to speak with somebody else who's a little bit higher up.
Yep.
There was the corpse in the rock blight section, and then there was the pudding court, and then the were rat issue.
Yeah, so if we do the crazy man, we can also get the corpse.
No, the crazy man is up more this way.
Mhm.
The
Oh, right.
corpse
sort
was
of.
down in the rock blight.
Okay. Well,
I mean, not to be morbid, but the corpse probably isn't going anywhere. The crazy guy could be doing anything right now.
we have also seen many, many times, focused on you in fact a couple of times, that corpses can indeed get moving. They can be quite mobile. But I get what you're saying. Besides, we get to exterminate some gels that are just shouldn't be here. It's not their territory, it's not where they should be. And I'm a bit worried about what he could be rooting for, because sure, Vidrai ransacked and destroyed the place, but who knows what could have been just caved in, lost, especially if you're dealing with royalty and what they might have on them.
At that point, Labagul does speak up and say, that's about the area that I feel calling.
I felt as much, considering it's filled with gels and such. Just tell if you're feeling a wee bit off or something, and we might have to, well, not leave you behind, but you know what I mean, not go deeper with you in the bag.
Okay.
Close the flap, give a nod to Bjorn. Remember, if you see anything weird, you have to put Lou down. It has nothing to do with the cube, it's just about Lou.
Yeah.
You see anything weird, he dies.
So, Slime Town?
So,
Ye or nay?
That's
Yay.
fine.
Might as well check it out and see how
Let's
bad it
go
is.
down the list.
Aye.
Well,
Are
we
you
do
planning
have.
on- oh, go on.
Well, we do have our cube friend.
Hey. It'd be interesting if we
They
could
might be able to
communicate.
help.
Yeah.
Jimjar does speak up and mention that if you're leaving the city, it would probably be smart to stop by the Speaking Stones first, just in case they have something for us to do in that section.
Oh, I didn't think we'd be out of the city limits.
He mentions that effectively, so you see the, there we go. Effectively, the entire area that I've highlighted here is what is considered Blingden Stone currently.
Okay.
Anything that is dark is currently not reclaimed. And while it's part of the city, quote unquote, it's not actually part of the city.
Alright, Speaking Stones in.
It's not safe.
Might as well.
Not to mention-
Haven't checked the bounty board in a while.
It's right down here.
Yep.
It's already
Right
on the
down
way.
the road.
It is a collection of it's a collection of stone circles that predates Blingden Stone entirely.
I choose the thief.
Jimjar does give you a little bit of a history as you are walking down, which basically the gnomes believe this is the henge here is a cluster of ancient Galeb Dur, venerated as manifestations of the gods. More religious members of the Stoneheart Enclave cast spells to commune with the circle and interpret the responses to kind of give an idea of where they think they should head with things.
Nice little system.
As you all approach and Jimjar is explaining this, Gurnik, or correction, this fellow who looks to be someone important actually.
He looks like a
Does
Gurnik to
show
me,
up-
just with something about his face.
Shut up, Corvus. But he does show up and says, you have questions about the stones?
We were directed here because we like to get in the mix and such, help out where we can. Apparently this is one of those areas where you hear about that sort of stuff.
I'm not sure who told you that, but I mean, technically there is something that I would appreciate to be dealt with if you're looking for some work. I'm Gurnik Tapfinger. Pleasure to meet you.
It is, aye. We go through the whole introductions. There's a lot of names, let's get through it. Mr. and Mrs.
He
Gloombrook
does-
and the children.
Now we have to introduce ourselves every time, Corvus. All of us.
6 fucking hours that was.
Yes.
But he does explain that he's a priest of Caladuran Smooth Hands. You get the feeling he knows Jimjar and doesn't like him very much.
Oh, did we just become best friends?
Much like like the other bloke, Jimjar does not seem to be popular with the religious leaders here for some reason.
My people.
As Gary's
But-
just slowly turning more and more grey and balder.
Oh no.
Well, it's
Oh,
okay.
no.
It's okay. It's because Gaddix hasn't realized these are men of faith, not science, so he's going to turn on them as well. Just say, I'm alone here. I'm so isolated.
But with a couple of the talks going on, he does explain that if you're potentially going into the rocklight section of the cavern, there's a temple to Caladuran that he would appreciate if it could be purified after it's been desecrated by the Drow invasion.
Scrub off a lot of
Specifically-
dry piss. Just so much web.
Specifically, he wants somebody to be able to cast the Hallow spell on the place.
Can I cast that yet?
Gonna say,
You
does anybody know
cannot.
that?
Yeah, if I go to...
However, if you bring that up,
Mhm.
he says, "Oh, I didn't expect you to," and he holds up a ruby. This is all you need.
Alright. Just focus on it a wee bit and it works a bit like a scroll.
All you're going to need to do is you're going to place it into the. Is it men here?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. I wanted to make sure that I
I'm in
wasn't
here, yeah.
forgetting something. Like, just place it in that, and it will do the job for you.
Oh, well,
Now-
that's convenient.
What's not going to be so convenient is once you place that gem, I have a feeling Ogremok's Bane will probably send some people to try and stop you.
The thing has minions?
Oh, more than a few. If you end up down in the markets and whatnot, you're probably going to find yourself dealing with a couple crazed elementals, potentially some animated drow statues.
Why would there be
Yeah,
drow
what
statues
kind of
here?
elementals are they?
All right, one at a time.
Right, you're
Yeah,
first.
Now, what kind of elementals are they?
Oh, earth elementals.
Okay, well,
Whereas my cromulent point is, why would there be drow statues here?
They've been animated. As far as we know, something to do with Ogremok's Bane is awaken the statues.
No, I get the point of animating them all. I'm wondering the logistics of the drow statues. Someone had to carve them and shape them unless they're petrified drow. I'm just wondering where the fuck those would have been from.
I see. You hit the nail on the head there, my friend.
Petrified drow. Okay, no worries there then. See, that I can understand. It's just I was wondering about this long distance raiding party of arts and crafts.
Arts and crafts. As a matter of fact, if you go into Rocklight, I advise you go seek out Sark over the staging area. It's the one way you're really going to be getting into Rocklight easily. I know he's got a little bit to do with the cause of that there. There'd be a Medusa.
Friendly type?
No.
Don't suppose she's alright with people going past her territory?
I don't much think so, and he's looking for somebody to handle that too, I do know.
Hmm.
He's paying for information and potentially also the removal.
Alright, we send Lou in.
But I couldn't go talk to the ghosts.
Well, in this case, you don't have to look at her.
Medusa friend.
No.
I don't think
That doesn't
she's a
always work.
friend.
Maybe some other time, but
Does
this one we've already gotten a profile of the character down. She's a problem.
does it refer to it as a Medusa, or is it a Gorgon it's referring to?
Oh, Gorgon in this is a bull creature.
Yeah, the metal ball that breathes.
I also sometimes heard the
Petrification.
Medusa creatures referred to as a Gorgon.
Yeah, in actual mythology, they're sort of interchangeable at times, like the Medusa and the Gorgon sisters kind of thing. But for D&D, the Gorgon is the metal bull that petrifies people with its breath. And the Medusa is
Yes.
a race of creatures that's petrified by sight.
Yeah, in this case, it is specifically referred to as a Medusa.
Okay, fair enough.
Despite the fact there being no actual mythological Medusa in D&D, they're just the race, the Medusas.
And then there's also a different subcategory of Medusa, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, but that's in different
It
books.
gets weird.
It
Just a little.
weird.
He does specify that effectively there's a set of double gates that he recommends if you're going into Rockblight, and that's where you'll find Sark. He'll be able to give you information on the Medusa.
Alrighty. Don't suppose there's anything we can rub on ourselves or something to stop a bit of a stone effect.
You don't look at her.
Little enough. We've got two who could handle that then.
Effectively, just you don't look at her and hope it works out.
Just
And now
don't
Brader's starting to realize why I was being so persnickety about him.
My eyes are up here. I've made my choice.
You know, fella, your darkness might come in handy and
I think so, yeah, actually. This is something that I can help deal with quite easily.
I mean, in Garrix's case, he just had to get right up close to her and only see underboob.
I say I'm already low to the ground. I'm
Yeah,
just
there's no
staring
view of a
directly
face
into her
there.
knees. I'm safe. Good luck to the rest of y'all.
I mean, could I close my eyes and still have the blind side?
That's the point of blindsight,
no.
yes.
oh no, she's flat chested. She's flat chested.
Put her down now. There's nothing to salvage here.
Too much snake, not enough woman.
Something that's not usually uttered, I'll be fair. Alright, to the gates.
Alright, so which set of gates? In the set for the Pudding King or the Rocklight?
And we were all amped up here to take on a Medusa and purify a temple and clear out some slimes. I mean, I did notice that Rena, however, said the Pudding King.
I'm
might-
referring to the oozes.
Yes. Which can't help but make you think there's some sort of boss fight in there.
No, the Pudding King is just a festival back at the village. Once a year, whoever eats the most pudding is the Pudding King.
It was the one regret you had, but you never got to win it. So close every time, but you just can't beat halfling capacity.
There is one other thing that is mentioned by your lovely friend here. Namely, that also in Rocklight, if you go out, you need to be careful because that's where Orgrimmar's Bane tends to find itself. The Medusa is friends with the malevolent cloud. And is likely the one that is animating these drow statues. It's pointed out that if you can somehow do something about it, it would be appreciated.
Can it be harmed normally? What we've heard, it's a cloud.
Well, to be realistic, nothing we've done has actually managed to affect it. It's not from this plane, I can tell you that. You can't burn it. We've been able to move it with some wind. Thinking, whatever it is, we think it's probably from the elemental plane of air.
That makes sense, eh?
Potentially, if we could send it back, it could work, but we haven't necessarily found a way to do so.
Yeah, it's a bit out of my means as well right now.
Give me an Arcana. Whoever wants to think it over. You have to have either. Yeah, probably be proficiency. Gaddix, you are perfectly aware that the what you're looking for would be either a banishment spell or a dispel good and evil.
Neither of which are in our level bracket.
You do, however, have a scroll
I was gonna say, anyone got a fancy piece of paper?
in your inventory for it.
Mm-hmm.
All you would need is somebody to potentially be able to cast it, and maybe a way to store that spell.
Let's see. I mean, I know obviously Uzana would be able to cast it, being a wizard. Let's see.
Can she cast it at that level?
No, it has to be 4th
Which
level.
spell?
Be
Banishment.
banished 4th level.
Yeah, we're 1 level below it.
No. But
Meanwhile, Dispel Evil and Good is a 5th level spell.
I can cast it, but I have to make an ability check.
Also of note is you currently have a Hallow spell gem,
Yes.
which means that at least somebody can cast on the 5th level.
Not entirely well. For now, we're going the other way, so we can deal with that in a bit. I'm sure they'll be more interested to help us out once we purify the temple, you know?
That's in the same, purifying the temple is the same area as the rock light.
I'm keeping it mixed up here, okay. So I thought Medusan Temple was that way, along with Slimes.
Nope. Slimes are the only thing that way.
And the
Down
Mad Lad.
here is, yeah, the Mad Lad. And down here is the Medusa, Ulgramark's Bane, the temple, and the corpse.
Was it yourself who embedded the hallowed spell in this, or someone else in town?
It was somebody else in town, but I can not quite get that high. They're not here right now, unfortunately. Any particular reason?
Well, there's a few spells that could potentially work to kick it out of its realm. It's just out of our range at the moment. But someone who's able to cast a hallow spell might possibly know it.
What spell in particular are we looking for?
I looked at my peer review here. You've both got the feeling banishment? Or a dispel evil and
spell for it.
or a dispel evil and good. Aye. I looked at my peer review, which is obviously the fighter and the rogue.
Yeah.
Well, it's more than just say it named like that for a spell. It's like, well, I mean, that sounds like the spell that you need to get
It
something.
sounds like it, but-
Banishment, Gaddix nods his head, sounds correct. Yeah.
I mean, in theme and all, but it's a case of is it powerful enough? And then dispel evil and good also might do it. But again, that's from Conflab Vera with my two main casters, and might be a bit tricky to do at this point.
I might be able to do a banishment, but I don't have the things I need to cast it, unfortunately.
What's it take?
It's a good question. I'd like to thank you for asking it, but it requires a material component.
2,000 gold worth of rubies that we just found. How convenient.
An item distasteful to the target.
Well, if it's here, would that be a rock?
I got a jar of dirt. I got a jar of dirt.
However, there's a very easy way to avoid that. If we have a spell scroll, you can avoid the component.
I hold aloft my vacuum cleaner. The antithesis of an heir. Well, we do have a scroll for these purposes.
Can I take a look at it?
You can, just remember, don't read it aloud. We've lost like 5 or 6 scrolls because of that shite.
Well, I do believe that I could probably cast this. I could give you a gem to handle it. It would certainly help us out quite a bit.
And then mechanically we find out his DC is like 12.
It could work.
It could indeed. Might as well give it a shot. I mean, we can possibly outrun it afterwards if it fails.
Just air.
Well, I've got the power of wind anyway, so I could blow him away a bit.
And if you potentially deal with, make sure if you do this, you can deal with the Digger Maddox. And they'll probably try to reward you.
Also, wouldn't look too bad on the opinions of such of the Were-Rat community. But a problem like this was solved so handily.
That probably would help.
I mean, it's a bit of a crude display of power and all, but it'd be nice to get done. Plus, something like that should not be floating around.
Well, if that's what you want, here, this is how we'll handle it. If you succeed, I'll let you keep the spell gem.
Alright.
And he produces a amber spell gem and places the spell into the spell gem. And he passes it over.
There you go, easy. You can have a wee look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Whew. Right, we got a lofty
The
little checklist here.
And the benefit for this, as Uzana's examining the gem, is the saving throw DC is always going to be a 15. And if you're casting a spell from it, the attack bonus will always be a +9.
It's just worse than the pair of us.
But it's good for somebody who is not a spellcaster.
True.
I will point out, normally, if it's above a level that you can cast, you would have an issue. But this is... He did some special things to make it work for you.
Yes, narratively we require this.
Correct.
Alright, off we go to Rock
Yeah.
and Cloudville.
As you all approach the area, let me get to the correct section for Blingdenstone. You can tell it's an area that they use as some form of a staging area. It has a lot of barricades. You see, actually, there's 4 cave badgers and 8 deep gnomes that are clearly stationed here to guard the exit. Surprisingly, no earth elementals like you'd expect. But one of the deep gnomes does speak up to you and say, where do y'all think you're going?
We have been given a mighty task. And, I forgot the name of the main guy we were meant to ask for there. Zarast?
A Sark.
Sark. I we're going to have a word with Sark.
Aye, that'd be me. Sark X Barrel.
Aye. We've already been given the task of purifying the temple, and I heard you want a Medusa's head chopped off.
Oh, if you can do it, aye. Doesn't mean I'm going to be promising anything, but aye. If you can get me information about where she is, what she's doing, anything that we can use to help defend the city, it's 50 gold per person. If you actually bring me some proof that she's dead, it'd be a diamond worth about 1,000 gold.
That's quite a nice rock.
Aye, we need that thing gone. Anytime one of our people wanders out there and gets turned into stone, next thing we know, the stupid cloud comes floating about and starts turning it into an animated statue to send it up against us. Then, of course, that cloud's out there turning our elementals against us, which is why we can't use them at the bloody gate.
Yeah, Cargo doesn't count as an elemental, does he?
No. Why would he?
Well, I'm just trying to remember what souls you put in. Was the orphan children or the earth elemental?
I'm not going to dignify that with a response.
I will. That means no comment. My lawyer has advised me to not comment on this at the very moment.
What is this thing made of? An orphan child?
I did not
An
murder those children in
orphan?
that pizzeria.
You used an orphan for this? I didn't use the whole one. We'll have a go then. Can you give us a wee bit of pointers to the temple, though? The one to Smooth Hands.
Hi. Right. There's going to be a fork when you come through. There's going to be a. Well, we've got the defenses. We'll bring them down for you. Don't worry. I got men on it right now, and you can tell he barks some orders. There's going to be a Y. You're going to make the right. If you go left, well, it's not really going to help you much because it's been caved in to try to stop this stupid cloud from coming in.
Got you.
So you make the right. If you're going to the temple, you make a left. And try to follow the stairs pretty much all the way straight across.
Alright, right, left, straight ahead, up the stairs.
Mm-hmm. Regarding the Medusa, from what I heard, a bit of a different area. She'll follow the same directions. You make the left, then you'll make a right across the cavern, I think. She might also be. There's an area nearby she could theoretically also be.
She'll probably also be attracted by the temple getting a bit noisy and such.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how we go.
Yeah, you'll be able to tell when you get up through the Crystal Gardens.
Sounds fancy.
I mean, it's a series of crystals. But in case you get lost, don't be afraid to go up to the Overlook. Take a look about. There's some water up there in case you get thirsty, but that's about it.
We should be fine enough. We've had a chance to refill.
Okay. All right. We can't really send anybody in if you get lost, so just so you know.
Alright, don't worry.
I've been out in the Underdark for a month now. I'm sure I'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Just a quick in and out.
Come back 4 hours later, weeping, sobbing. I was not in control of that situation at all. Why do I do this to myself? Do I hate myself this much? Do I want to die?
Yes.
Am I just too afraid to be a failure of a father?
You all do head out.
That's why we had to keep on traveling. Bjorn would be sitting in the village and this little stubby, super muscle dwarf would show up and go, "Father, nope, not today."
Unlike before, you remember Plington Stone is generally warm, it's lit. It's a pleasant environment. You all realize this area has none of that. You follow your way around, you pass the pool of water. To your left, there is a set of stairs, but forward is a. It used to be a burrow with a lot of, homes and residences for people to live. You can hear a waterfall somewhere in the blackness, but it is so dark that the only light you have is what you've brought with you, and, well, of course, your little patch of daylight.
Yeah, luckily I brought the sun.
And you can see that this is not it kind of hits for a moment to realize that what you've been going through, the places that have so much life, was like this when the people first arrived back here. And everywhere about, you can see that there are signs of battle. You're not really seeing the skeletons lying the ground per se, but you can see places where there seem to be scorch marks. There are places where some form of weapon has hit a wall. You can see gouges in the streets that should not be there. And it is eerie. You're even listening, and you can hear the echoes of battle along the streets in the darkness beyond your vision. Do you want to follow the sounds of battle? Or do you want to try to avoid the scenario?
Could be someone in trouble. Could even be the cloud coming over.
It's fascinating to hear a battle this close already. Hey, we'll go seek that out. That's a smart move.
As you all slink further into the area.
Oh no, we have not begun to slunk yet. Let us try to slink.
Too late. She already said slunk. Slink.
Oh, I didn't even mean sneaking. I was just slinking in the area.
I know, that's why I did this as a joke.
That's why it's comedy. Oh, wow. Yeah, I was saying happening.
Rosanna is slinking perfectly fine.
I'm not doing too bad. At least I'm double digits.
I mean,
I was gonna say, yeah, you did.
Rosanna's basically stealthy under the cover of noise.
Just for comedy's sake, let's see if the anti-drow field is
I was gonna say, how
active.
stealthy is Felrax? Okay, he's pretty good.
He's definitely slinking. And he looks very uncomfortable because he eventually turns and just says, "This is not an active battle."
Ghosts?
Most certainly. I'm hearing words that are definitely drow. I think we're just being haunted.
Ah.
Right
I
about
hope
the
they don't-
time that this happens,
All right, Harden, absolve them, and let's get out of here.
a Svirfneblin ghost pops through the wall and shouts, "They are coming, everybody must hide." And let me see real quick.
Well, they're hidden. Nothing we can do. Let's go.
No, hold on.
I thought you didn't believe in them.
As a matter
Exactly.
of fact,
They're not here right now. My job is done here.
everybody please make a wisdom save.
Oh
Oh
boy.
dear.
Yeah, I don't believe in them. Doesn't matter.
Oh, you believe in him.
I'm like the opposite of Shaggy and Scooby. I don't
Well,
believe
it's
in them
even
despite
worse.
coming in contact with them. Where Shaggy and Scooby believe the ghosts are real despite unmasking several of them.
That's why I want to do that 13 Ghost movie, because it's a case of they finally reunite with Fred and Velma. It's a case of Shaggy and Daphne have been on a whole quest against real ghosts.
I do need
They need to
Vince,
have dialogue about that.
Eldeth, and Jim Jar.
I actually believe there's one episode of 13 Ghosts with Scooby-Doo where Velma appears.
Possibly. I just
think
know
it
they
was her
appeared in the
birthday.
movie.
Gaddix, Lou, Bernard, Uzana.
Does Susanna not have advantage for
Jar.
some possible racial reason?
Yeah, I'm looking
Excuse
at
me,
it.
I do have advantage on my
Oh, never
roll.
mind.
Is this count as
Okay.
magic?
Well, it doesn't matter. It's a save.
It's a
Oh,
save.
say-
Yeah.
So
yeah,
Gaddix
wisdom
wisdom
has-
save.
saving throws against magic. Gnome cunning.
Oh, okay, then Gaddix is okay.
No,
Jim Jar's not.
No, he has to
though.
roll it
Jim Jar's
first.
not. Well, I get to roll again if I didn't roll high enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see if you do worse.
A little bit better.
I'm so glad this racial
Gaddix?
is saving me.
Lou,
It has done.
Bernard, and Jim Jar are frightened. Gaddix, that is a ghost.
Ghost.
To be fair,
He's
he's
scared
scared of it
because-
because Hartness picked him up and pushing him against the ghost. You see it? You see it, little shit?
He's scared because he can't explain it.
It reaches out. It helps if it's not going to GM. Why is it going to GM? A point is he reaches out and touches the prince for 20 damage
Oof.
Oh no!
and phases back
Anyway.
into the house.
Holy shit, he was meant to give us a warning. Why is he fucking harming us? Well, there goes the first spell slot of the day. Let's give the prince a bit. There we go. 10 healing for the prince. Whoever's in charge of him.
Okay. Yep.
Yep.
The question is, you think this might somehow be related to your lovely individual that needs to be rescued and put to rest?
I don't know. What sort of Smurfildom was it? Did it look old? Tired?
It's old, but you also don't know how long he's been realived.
We'll go kick in the door and have a check, shall we?
Mhm.
Might I suggest that before the door kick, this is where we hold?
Well, I mean, this'll just be fighting a ghost.
Yeah,
It's
it's going to be the
just very
same
late.
deal.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
We can hold off if you want.
Yeah, I've been up almost 24 hours.
Oh yeah.
Sounds like a
dear.
you problem, though, really.
Yeah. Well, it's just more of it's going to be a bigger explanation and such. Just figured.
Yeah, we got a
some
whole
point
place
for
to
next time.
explore, so.
Yeah.
Your call, DM.
Yep, that is fine.
Okay.